No.
Take that out
Apparently,
of
I
your
set up
mouth.
two different Zoom things.
Oh, if you guys want to rename yourselves, that's cool too.
Oh, yes. Thanks for the reminder.
But if you have
Man,
multiple
we are
roles,
rusty.
just
We have
put
not
your-
done
All
this
right,
in
guess
a
what?
while, have
We are
we?
live now.
Oops. Ah!
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
This is 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Try not to cry.
The exterior, a Billboard Road day. Mildred Hayes, a woman in her early 50s, driving along a country road, passes an old billboard roadside. Whatever advert was on it is long since faded and torn. Mildred drives on to a second billboard a few hundred feet along the road. She notices this one a little more, though its old adverts are equally ramshackle. She slows to a stop. After looking up at the billboard a while, she slowly reverses and stops at the first, then at all three, stretching away to the quiet horizon. Makes a mental note of Ebbing billboard advertising, then drives on again, leaving the three old billboards alone, like tombstones on the dusty road. Interior, Welby's office, Ebbing advertising day. Red, Welby's office, window looking onto Main Street in the town's police station. Red, a cool-looking young guy, pretends to read a Penguin classic as he observes the office hottie Pamela pass in a cute dress. Mildred strides on in.
You read Welby?
Yes, ma'am. How may I?
They said those 3 billboards out on Drinkwater Road. You're in charge of renting them out, that right?
I didn't know we had any billboards out on. Where is Drinkwater Road?
Road out past Sizemore turnoff. No one uses since the highway got put in.
Red checks a file. Mildred observes a beetle on its back on the windowsill trying to right itself.
You're right. Got 3 billboards out there. Nobody's putting nothing up out there since 1986. That
How
was
much did
Huggy.
you rent all 3 of them for the year?
The year? You want to pay 3? You want to pay for 3 billboards out on a road no one goes down unless they got lost or they're retards for a year?
Quick, H. Welby.
Well, since what I say goes these days down at the Ebbing advertising desk, I'm going to strike you a real good deal on those billboards. Now, what is it you said your name was? Mrs.
What's the law of what you can and can't say on a billboard? I assume it's you can't say nothing defamatory and you can't say fuck, piss, or cunt. That right?
Or anus?
Well, I think we'll be all right then. Here's $5,000 for the first month. I assume that'll cover it.
She plunks down $5,000 cash.
And here's what the billboards ought to say.
She hands him 3 index cards, then moves to the window. He reads the first, the second, the third, stunned.
Why don't you drop a little contract betwixt us while you're at it? Make sure no one rents out the billboards out from under me.
Welby looks up at her sadly.
I guess you're Angela Hayes' mother.
That's right. Angela Hayes' mother.
Mildred at the window gently sets the beetle back upright. It waddles off happily. Behind it, the U.S. flag flutters above the police station as a couple of laughing cops enter it.
Name's Mildred. How long before you got him put up?
Oh, shall we say by Easter Sunday?
Mildred stares out the police station.
That'll be perfect.
Exterior, cop car driving Billboard Road, night. Officer Dixon, 35, drives up the Billboard Road and approaches from behind the 3rd billboard. 2 Latino workmen work on it, buckets and squeegees. As he passes, he looks up at the posters on it. Double take, screeches to a halt. The billboard reads in large, stark letters, "How come, Chief Willoughby?"
Hey, what the hell is this?
Yeah?
How come Chief Willoughby what?
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
How come what?
What?
Listen, I better start getting some answers straight out of you Mexican sons of bitches.
The second Latino has pointed to the distant 2nd billboard, making an odd little gesture, and Dixon looks over. Dixon's point of view, the back of the 2nd billboard and the black guy finishing up with the posters there, end point of view. Dixon sighs, drives off toward it. Exterior, Billboard Road, second billboard, continuous. Dixon swings his car around to the front of the billboard. It reads, and still no arrests. The black-eyed Jerome is emptying out his buckets.
What the hell is this? Hey, you, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is what?
This.
Jerome turns around and reads as if for the first time.
Advertising, I guess?
Advertising what?
Jerome reads it again.
Something obscure?
Oh, I'll say.
Hey, don't I know your face from someplace?
I don't know, do ya?
Yeah, I do.
Jerome spits on the ground, looks at him with disdain. Dixon stares back, a vicious edge between them.
I could arrest you right now if I wanted to.
For what?
For emptying out your buckets there. It's against the being bad against the environment laws.
Well, before you do that, Officer Dixon, why don't you go have yourself a look at that first billboard over there, and then we can have ourselves a talk about the motherfucking environment. How about that?
Dixon looks at the distant first billboard, standing all alone, back to us, the dark sky behind it. Dixon sighs, starts his car, pulls away. We go with him, staying on his face as he comes to the first billboard and slowly stops in front of it. His face falls.
Fuck me.
He takes out his cell phone and presses Willoughby, home. Interior, Willoughby House. Chief of Police Bill Willoughby having dinner with his young wife Anne and his two daughters Polly and Jane. The telephone rings.
Don't.
Willoughby sheepish answers it.
Dixon, you goddamn asshole! I'm in the middle of my goddamn Easter dinner.
Exterior, Billboard Road, third billboard. Dixon is out of the car now, pacing.
I know, Chief, and I'm sorry for calling you at home and all, but I think we got kind of a problem.
As Dixon passes out of the frame, the first billboard is revealed. It reads, raped while dying. Wide shot of the three billboards stretching away to the distance. Exterior, Billboard Road. Mildred drives Robbie, her 17-year-old son, past the billboards, checking his reaction. He sees them, but gives nothing away. Exterior, school. She drops him at school, and he heads off without a goodbye. Exterior, Main Street, day. She drives up Main Street, sees activity outside the police station. Willoughby with the desk sergeant, forcibly telling Dixon to stay behind, then crossing street to Red's place. Exterior, gift shop. She continues to the other end of town, a gift shop she works at. Mildred's coworker, Denise, black, 28, smokes outside.
Sorry I'm late, Denise.
Did you put up those billboards to fuck with the cops yet?
They're up.
You go, girl. You fuck those cops up.
She pats Mildred on the back, tosses her cigarette away, and they go inside. Interior, Welby's office, day. Quickfire dialogue, read at the desk sergeant and Willoughby standing.
What the fuck do you think you're doing, Welby? Bunch of billboards like that. You didn't think there'd be some kind of ramifications legally?
What's the legal ramifications, Cedric?
You want me to explain the legal ramifications, a little punk like you? And don't call me Cedric.
I ain't contriving no laws on propriety, and I ain't contriving no laws on that fucking thing. I checked this all up.
Oh, yeah? Where do you check this all up?
In a book.
Which book, genius?
Book called Suck My Ass, It Ain't None of Your Business.
Willoughby gives him a long, cold stare.
How long has this person or persons rented these billboards out for?
Oh, the year.
And how long she exactly paid for?
The year.
So it is a she, huh?
Ain't at liberty to divulge that kind of information, Chief.
Mildred Hayes, perhaps?
Ain't at liberty to divulge that kind of information, Chief.
Do you really want to fuck with the Ebbing Police Department, Red? Do you?
I guess.
Interior, police station, Willoughby's office. Willoughby, desk sergeant, and Dixon.
He said what? To your face?
No crime has been committed here.
Defamation of character ain't a crime?
It isn't defamation if she's simply asking a question.
What are you, an idiot?
Don't call me an idiot, Dixon.
I didn't call you an idiot. I asked if you was an idiot. It was a question.
He got you, Cedric.
Well, I'm going to do something about it if you two ain't.
Where you going? Don't fly off the handle.
But Dixon has already stormed out.
Why in hell you keep that man on, Bill?
He's a good man at heart.
He tortured a guy in custody, Bill.
There was no real evidence to support that.
Exterior Main Street day. As Welby is coming out of his building, Dixon crosses the road toward him.
Take him down.
Huh?
Take him down.
Take what down?
You think I wouldn't take you out right here on Main Street Red?
Thought you only take out black dudes, Dixon.
Dixon goes to punch him, but Willoughby is suddenly there, grabs his punching arm and shoves him toward the station. People on the street are staring, especially the blacks.
Ain't nobody never goes down that road anyways, unless they got lost or they're retards.
Exterior Billboard Road day. Mildred interviewed by Gabriella, cameraman filming all 3 billboards in the background.
This is your first time on TV?
Uh-huh.
Well, don't be nervous. That's your main thing. And it'll be fine. Just don't look into the camera, obviously.
Mildred just stares at her.
In 3, 2, 1. So, Mildred Hayes, why did you put up these billboards?
Well, my daughter, Angela, she got abducted. And she got raped and murdered 7 months ago on this self-same stretch of road here, fortunately. And to me, it seems like the local police department is too busy going around torturing black folks to be bothered doing anything about solving actual crime. So I kind of thought these here billboards might, concentrate their minds some.
Interior Dixon's house, night. Dixon sits beside his mama on the couch and is just about to bite into a sandwich.
What you watching, Mama? Is stupid news?
When he's stopped by Mildred's appearance on TV.
Seems like the local police department is too busy going around torturing black folks to be bothered doing anything about solving actual crime.
Dixon's mama looks at him.
Fuck.
Interior Willoughby house, night. Willoughby and Anne watching the end of the interview.
I don't know what these policemen are doing, to be honest with you. I just know my daughter's burnt body lying 6 feet underground while they're eating 8-year-olds for skateboarding in lots.
And what has Chief Willoughby to do with all of this? Why single him out?
Well, he's the head of them, ain't he? The buck's gotta stop at somebody, don't it?
And the buck stops at Willoughby.
Yeah, the buck stops at Willoughby. Dead right it does.
He clicks it off, gets up, goes out of the house without a word. Exterior, Willoughby's stable, night. Willoughby moodily tends the horses in the stable just outside the house. Anne comes up.
You all right there, fella?
Looks like we got a war on our hands.
Exterior, Mildred's house, dawn. Willoughby pulls up outside Mildred's door, clapboard house. From here, we can see that the billboards puncturing the dusty horizon are only a mile away. Mildred sees Willoughby from the kitchen window as he knocks. She opens the door.
Can we talk?
Exterior, Mildred's garden. Mildred sitting in a creaky swing set, Willoughby with hat in hand.
I'd do anything to catch the guy who did it, Mrs. Hayes. But when the DNA don't match no one who's ever been arrested, and when the DNA don't match any crimes nationwide, and when there wasn't a single eyewitness from the time she left your house to the time we found her, well, right now, there ain't too much more that we can do except...
Could pull blood from every man and boy in this town over age of 8.
There's civil rights laws prevents that, Mrs. Hayes. And what if he was just passing through town?
Pull blood from every man in the country then.
And what if he was just passing through the country?
If it was me, I'd start up a database. Every male baby what's born, stick them on it, cross-reference it, and as soon as they done something wrong, make 100% certain it was a correct match, then kill them.
Yeah, well, there's definitely civil rights laws prevents that.
He sits on the swing beside her, the billboard stretching out down the hill in front of them.
I'm doing everything I can to track him down, Mrs. Hayes. I don't think these billboards is very fair.
The time it's took you to come out here whining like a bitch, Willoughby, some other poor girl's probably being butchered right now. But it's good you've got your priorities straight. I'll say that for you.
There's something else, Mildred. I got the cancer. I'm dying.
I know it.
Huh?
I know it. Most everyone in town knows it.
You know it. And you still put those billboards up?
Well, they wouldn't be as effective after you croak, right?
Willoughby looks at her in disbelief, gets in his car and drives off. Interior bar at night. Town's main bar, Welby shooting pool against James, a local dwarf who uses a box to stand on. James smacks a good one in from a distance. Dixon comes up, drunk.
Well, looky if it ain't the instigator of this whole goddamn affair in the first place.
I didn't instigate shit, Dixon.
Playing pool against the town midget.
James pots another.
He's right, Red. You are playing pool against the town midget.
Well, he's a cop. You know, he's observant.
You know, I always disliked you, Red, ever since you was a snotty little child, which you still look like a snotty little child.
Well, that's unfortunate. I always thought you was great.
James plays a safety shot. Welby takes over.
Even your name, Red Welby, even your name, I disliked.
Okay.
Like you was some kind of a goddamn communist or something and proud of it.
No, it's because I got red hair.
Welby misses.
Do you know what they do to faggots down in Cuba, Welby?
Wow. That's left field. No, what do they do to faggots down in Cuba, Dixon?
They kill them, which it might surprise you to learn I am against.
I'm not sure that they do kill faggots down in Cuba, Dixon. I know Cuba's human rights record is pretty deplorable when it comes to homosexuality, but killing them? Are you sure you ain't thinking of Wyoming?
Always with the smart ass.
James smashes in another.
Jesus, he's quite good, isn't he? Willoughby's a good man, Red. He shouldn't have this be the only thing he thinks about the last months left to him.
Last month's what?
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, pancreatic.
Red is shaken. Out of nowhere, Mildred idles over, puts a bunch of quarters on the pool table.
I'm up next if any of you old ladies ever quit yakking.
She hangs there, staring them down.
Rude.
Saw you on TV the other day, Mildred.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you look good.
He stares at him, an embarrassed pause.
I mean, you know, you came across really good in the things you were saying.
Embarrassed, James goes back to the pool.
I didn't think you came across really good in the thing that you were saying. I thought you came across stupid ass.
Ain't it about time you got home to your mama, Dixon?
No, it ain't time I got home to my mama. I told her I was going to be out till 12, actually.
James whacks in the black brilliantly from a distance.
Jesus.
Me versus you, Mildred.
He smiles at her. Interior, Mildred's house, night. Mildred enters, a beer in hand, a bit drunk.
Hey, Robbie, I think a midget wants to get in my pants.
To find Father Montgomery, an old priest she knows, at the kitchen table beside Robbie, best teacups in front of them.
Father Montgomery.
Mildred, I'm sorry for calling you on so late, although I must say Robbie's been the consummate host, despite he was just telling me something of a tricky day at school.
Oh, no. Just some of the guys on the team was giving me crap.
Crap about what?
About the billboards, which is kind of what I've come to have a word with you about, Mildred.
Oh, proceed.
I know it's been hard for you, Mildred, this past year. We all do. The whole town does. And whatever it is you need, we'll be there for you, always. But the town also knows what kind of a man William Willoughby is. And the town is dead set against these billboards of yours.
Took a poll, did you, Father?
If you hadn't stopped coming to church, Mildred, you'd be aware of the depth of people's feelings. I had 12 people come up to me on Sunday. So yes, I took a poll. Everybody is on your side about Angela. Nobody's on your side about this.
You know what I was thinking about earlier today? I was thinking about those street gangs they got in Los Angeles, the Crips and the Bloods. I was thinking about that bunch of new laws they came up with in the 80s, I think it was, to combat those street gangs, those Crips and Bloods. And if I remember rightly, the gist of those new laws said was, if you join one of these gangs and you're running with them, and down the block from you one night, unbeknownst to you, your fellow Crips or your fellow Bloods, shoot up a place or stab a guy, well, even though you didn't know nothing about it, even though you may have just been standing on a street corner minding your own business, those new laws says you are still culpable. You are still culpable by the very act of joining those Crips or those Bloods in the first place. Which got me thinking, Father, that whole type of situation is kind of similar to you church boys, ain't it? You've got your clubhouse, you got your color Bible, while one of your fellow gang members is down. Culpable. Because you joined the gang, man. And I don't care if you never did shit or never saw shit or never heard shit. You joined the gang. You're culpable. And when a person is culpable to altar boy fucking or any kind of boy fucking, no, you guys didn't really narrow it down, then they kind of forfeit the right to come into my house and say a word about me or my life or my daughter or my billboards. So why don't you just finish your tea there, Father, and get the fuck out of my kitchen?
She goes off to another room. Montgomery puts down his teacup.
Thanks for coming up anyway, Father.
Interior hospital room day. Doctor drawing Willoughby's blood as he looks away from it, squeamish, out the window at the pretty landscape.
How you feeling, Bill?
Oh, like I got cancer in a major organ?
Well, I just want you to know we're all on your side about this Mildred Hayes thing.
If I have to hear that one more fucking time.
Willoughby wrenches the needle from his arm and tosses the vial at a wall where it smashes and splatters.
I'm done with this shit. I can't waste my life waiting.
Interior police station main room. Willoughby breezes in, doing up his tie. Dixon's hungover.
Give me the file on the Hayes case.
The Angela Hayes case or the Mildred Hayes case?
There is no Mildred Hayes case.
Well, we've had 2 official complaints about the billboard, so actually I would think that, maybe...
From who?
Well, a lady with a funny eye and then a fat dentist.
Give me the file on the Angela Hayes case. A lady with a funny fucking eye. Jesus Christ.
Exterior Billboard Road. Backs to the billboards framed behind him, Willoughby has the case file laid out on the hood of his car, weighted with rocks. Some gruesome photos of a burned corpse that we don't see much of, but Dixon does, wincing, nauseous.
Late night?
No.
Lay off that Welby guy.
Or you'll do what?
Or I'll kick your mama's teeth in.
No, you won't. Who told you I was laying on him anyway, the midget?
What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking midget? I'm trying to fucking concentrate.
Dixon shrugs. Willoughby goes back to the file. Dixon ambles, bored. Willoughby crouches, runs his fingers through the burnt soil there, looking like he might cry.
What are you looking for anyway? There's nothing to look for.
Interior, dentist surgery, day. Mildred in the dentist chair.
I don't know what it is. The feeling feels like it's kind of waggling.
Jeffrey, a fat dentist, appears with his instruments.
Well, if it's waggling, it's gonna have to come out.
Ain't you gonna have a look at it first?
Jeffrey does so perfunctorily.
It's gonna have to come out.
Bemused, she guesses he knows what he's doing. He fiddles among his drills, comes up with a high-pitched one.
Can I get a little Novocaine in there, Doc?
He puts the drill down, gets a syringe, injects it under her gum at painful angles and length, takes it out and looks at his watch, just sitting there.
Give it a couple minutes.
Maybe it wasn't waggling. Maybe it was just my fingers going in and out.
Silence. He picks up the drill again and gets it going.
I just wanted to say there's a lot of good friends of Bill Willoughby in this town, Ms. Hayes, who don't take kindly to...
But Mildred has already grabbed the drill hand, then grabbed the hand that was holding her mouth open. She slowly starts bringing one hand toward the other, the whirring drill aiming towards his big fat thumbnail. Jeffrey is too flabby and Mildred too forceful for him to do anything about it but whimper as, close up, the drill gets closer and closer to his thumbnail. Jeffrey sweats. Mildred's determined until finally the drill whirs into the nail, splitting it right down the center and then continuing deeper, whirring into the bloody flesh under the nail until the nail spins off altogether.
Then why don't you tell those good friends of Bill Willoughby to tell Bill Willoughby to do his fucking job, fat boy?
She pushes the screaming, bloody dentist out of the way, rinses her mouth out with the pink stuff, spits it at his head, and exits. Interior, gift shop. Denise behind the counter, Mildred arranging knickknacks. Cop car pulls up, lights flashing. Willoughby and Dixon enter.
Hey there, Mildred. You didn't happen to pay a visit to the dentist today, did you?
Mildred's dialogue here on is through a totally unintelligible Novocaine mouth.
No.
Huh?
Said no.
Oh, so it wasn't you who drilled a little hole in one of Big Fat Jeffrey's big fat thumbnails, no?
Of course not.
You drilled a
Huh?
hole.
I said of course not.
You drilled a hole in the dentist?
No, listen.
Huh?
Well, I thought it was, kind of funny myself, but he wants to press charges, so we're gonna have to bring you in, I'm afraid.
Interior, police station, interview room, Dixon guarding the door and Mildred looking out the window. Mildred's point of view, across the road, Welby and Pamela are looking out at the pedestrians in the sunshine. Welby's obviously into her, but shy about it. End point of view. Mildred smiles, the Novocaine's worn off.
So how's it all going with the nigger torturing business, Dixon?
It's persons of color torturing business these days, if you want to know, and I didn't torture nobody.
She idles back to the table and sits.
Goddamn, saying that stuff on TV. My mama watches that station.
And she didn't know nothing about the torturing.
No, she didn't know anything about it. She's against that kind of thing.
Willoughby breezes in.
Who's against what kind of thing?
My mama. It is against persons of color torturing. She said nigger torturing. I said you can't say nigger torturing no more. You got to say persons of color torturing, right?
I think I'll be able to take care of Mrs. Hayes on my own from here on, Jason.
All right, Chief. I'll be right outside if you need me.
Dixon gives Willoughby a pat on the back as he leaves. Willoughby sits with some papers.
Don't give me that look. If you got rid of every cop with vaguely racist learnings, then you'd have 3 cops left, and all of them are gonna hate the fags. So what are you gonna do,
He smiles at Mildred, then comes around and sits on her side of the desk, looking down on her.
I want to know something, Mildred.
Does sitting up high like that make you feel more powerful, Chief?
I'm sorry, Mildred. I'll go sit where I was if it makes you feel more comfortable.
I didn't say I wasn't comfortable. I don't get uncomfortable around cops. Sit wherever you want. It's your police station.
Why'd you drill a hole through poor fat Jeffrey's thumbnail?
Oh, that didn't happen. His hand slipped and he drilled a hole in himself. Guess he's saying I done it? Geez, then I guess it's just his word against mine, huh? Kind of like all those rape cases you hear about. Except in this instance, the chick ain't losing.
It ain't really about winning or losing, though, is it, Mildred? I mean, do you think I care about who wins or loses between the two of yous? Do you think I care about Dennis? I don't care about Dennis. Nobody cares about Dennis. I do care about, or I'm interested in, tying you up in court so long that your hours at the gift shop are so shot to shit that you ain't got a penny to pay for another month's billboards. I'm interested in that.
I got some dough put away.
What I heard was you had to sell off your ex-husband's tractor trailer to even pay for this month's billboards. That right? How is old Charlie, by the way? He's still shacking up with that pretty little intern works down at the zoo?
He's still shacked up with some chick who smells of shit. I don't know if the zoo's got anything to do with it, although I hope so.
How old is she? 19? That must smart.
Keep trying, officer. Keep trying.
What's Charlie think about these here billboards of yours? An ex-cop like Charlie.
Ex-cop, ex-wife beater. Same difference, I guess, right?
His word against yours, though, right? Charlie don't know about him, does he?
It's none of his business.
He's kind of paying for him, though, ain't he?
I'm paying for him.
This month you are. How about when...
Willoughby suddenly lets out a short, sharp cough, which spurts a spray of blood that hits Mildred in the face, wholly by accident. Horrified, shaking, Willoughby tries to wipe her face with a handkerchief, Mildred almost in tears at his embarrassment.
I didn't mean to...
I know.
It was an accident.
I know, baby.
It's blood.
I know.
They're both in tears, and there's a desperation in his eyes as he sits there shaking.
I'll go get somebody.
She rushes out the door. Exterior police station. Willoughby is gurneyed into an ambulance past the townspeople, Dixon beside him.
Just let her go.
Dixon rolls his eyes.
Just let her go.
Dixon nods as the ambulance door is closed. Exterior, Lower Main Street. Mildred, still stunned, wipes the remaining spots of blood from her face as the townspeople, including the bandaged Jeffrey and a lady with a funny eye, come up to her angrily and oddly. Jerome drives a remote-controlled Jeep along the sidewalk toward them.
Take those goddamn things down,
Take them down.
or we will.
And if you funny-eyed fuckers even think about touching those billboards, you will fucking die. You got that? You will fucking die.
Jerome drives his toy car into Jeffrey's ankle.
Yeah, leave her alone. Those billboards are cool.
Jerome picks up his Jeep and heads off, and Mildred is left to walk away alone. And the townspeople watching, Jeffrey rubbing his ankle. From his second-story window, Red Welby has been watching the distant scene. He looks across at the police station and sees that Dixon has been watching him from his ground floor window. Dixon slowly closes his blinds. Interior car, Mildred driving Robbie home from school.
Do birds get cancer?
Huh?
Birds. Do they get cancer?
I don't know. Dogs do.
Well, yeah. I wasn't talking about dogs, was I?
The car turns onto the billboard road.
Great. The good old raped while dying road home. Because when there's 2 seconds in a day when I didn't think about her and wasn't thinking about how she died, there you go, Robbie. Think about it some more, why don't you? It's good, too. As much as a person might have tried to avoid the details of what happened, because he didn't think it would do any good, and he didn't think that he could bear it, It's also good to be informed in 20-foot high lettering. Got a real nice font. The precious details of her last moments. You know? That it wasn't enough that she was raped. And it wasn't enough that she died. No. Raped while dying. Thank you, Mom.
I gave you the police reports.
I didn't read them. Enough as it fucking is.
Interior Mildred's house night. Robbie slams into his room, leaving Mildred alone and quiet. She goes into Angela's room, sits on the bed a while.
Mom!
Yeah?
Interior Mildred's house kitchen day flashback. It's 10 months ago. Mildred washing dishes. Robbie drawing. Angela dressed to go out.
You ain't going out tonight, are you?
Denise said we might get us a couple of drinks later, yeah.
Denise gonna be driving you?
Angela, why don't you just ask me if you want to borrow the car?
Can I borrow the car?
No,
Bitch.
but I'll give you some money for a taxi if you ask me nice and don't call me a bitch.
Why'd you make me ask you to borrow the car? If you weren't gonna let me borrow it.
'Cause it was funny. Because you've been smoking pot all day.
You're such a hypocrite.
Hypocrite, how?
You drove drunk with us in the car when we was kids.
What are you talking about?
Daddy told me.
When did you see him?
See him all the time. Don't change the subject. Did you or did you not drive drunk with us in the car when we was kids?
Once, maybe.
Oh, once. Okay.
When he was in the middle of being the shit out of me.
Which we're only got your word about, right?
For Christ's sake, Angela.
Why you never take my side, Robbie?
I'm always on your side when you're not being a cunt.
Hey!
Hey, there'll be no more cunts in this house. You got that, mister?
What? Are you moving out?
Both women glare at him.
It was a gag.
Oh, are you gonna let me borrow the car or what?
Why don't you just walk, Angela? Why don't you just walk?
You know what? I will walk. I'll walk. And you know what? I hope I get raped on the way.
Angela storms out.
Yeah, well, I hope you get raped on the way, too.
Door slams. Flashbacks over. Interior hospital room night. Willoughby in a bed and nearby, doctor checking him.
You're going to need to keep you a few days, Bill. You shouldn't be coughing up blood.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that, Doc.
Yeah, I'll swing by in the morning, Ann.
Doctor departs and we listen to his echoing footsteps as they look at each other.
It's your coat, huh?
Well, you know I ain't staying.
And you know I ain't arguing.
She smiles and goes out. Footsteps echo away, leaving him alone there in the sterile quiet, scared. Exterior Mildred's house, a pretty pink sunrise over the hills behind the house. Interior Mildred's house kitchen, Mildred and Robbie getting their breakfast in silence. Robbie more moody than she is. She tries to make him laugh. He ignores her. Finally, she takes a big spoonful of milk and cereal and she slings it straight in his face and hair.
Slipped. Oops.
She stares at him, deadpan, as milk and cereal drip down his face and hair.
You old cunt.
I ain't old, Robbie.
Robbie can't help but smile, then hears the sound of a car pulling up on the gravel outside.
That's Dad.
He wipes his face, rushes to the door, Mildred apprehensive. Exterior Mildred's house, her ex, Charlie, slams his car door shut and approaches the front door as Robbie opens it. Charlie's 19-year-old girlfriend, Penelope, remains in the passenger seat.
Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Where's the crazy lady?
Robbie gestures inside and Charlie breezes in. Robbie waves to Penelope, who smiles and gives an embarrassed wave back. Interior, Mildred's house, kitchen, Robbie, Charlie, and Mildred, who's still finishing breakfast.
The kid's got Rice fucking Krispies in his fucking hair? What's going on around here? And what the fuck's going on with those fucking billboards, Mildred?
Kind of self-explanatory, ain't it?
Well, why don't you just explain it to me?
Guess it ain't self-explanatory then. Well, you know, I guess I wanted certain people's minds kept on certain people's jobs is all. I hadn't heard a word from them in 7 goddamn months, but I'll tell you this. I heard an awful lot from them ever since I put those billboards up.
You think this has focused their minds? I'll tell you what it's focused their minds on. It's focused their minds on how exactly are they gonna fuck you up.
The more you keep a case in the public eye, the better your chances of getting it solved. It's all in the guidebooks, Charlie.
How much those billboards cost?
About the same as the tractor trailer.
Robbie sniggers.
What the fuck are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Laughed at by a guy with fucking cereal in his hair.
How's Penelope?
Huh? Oh, she's all right.
Why don't you invite her in? Save leaving her sitting in there.
She's here?
She's out in the car.
Oh, that explains it.
That explains what?
I knew I could smell something.
Charlie overturns the table violently, and as Mildred backs away, grabs her by the neck and pins her against the wall. Just as suddenly, a knife is placed against Charlie's throat by Robbie, deadly serious.
Let her go.
Just then, the sound of a screen door creaking is heard, and Penelope is standing there, startled by the scene.
I kind of needed to use the bathroom. If it's inconvenient, actually, it is inconvenient, isn't it? I can see it's inconvenient. I can hold it. It's all right.
Charlie lets go of Mildred, and Robbie lowers the knife.
It's the first door down the hall.
Are you sure? I feel like I'm intruding.
Just go pee.
Penelope quickly heads down the hall to the toilet, leaving the three of them staring at each other. Robbie sits right the upturned table.
Since when did you grow a pair of balls?
About 7 months ago.
Look, you've said what you came to say, okay? Why don't you just go get Zoo Girl and get the hell out of my house, all right?
Penelope comes out of the toilet, goes to the screen door, turns.
Actually, zoo-wise, they were letting people go at the zoo, unfortunately, and it was a case of last in, first out. So yeah, unfortunately, the zoo had to let me go. But they were looking for people down at the horse race or horse rides for the disableds to look after the horses down there. So I'm working down there now, looking after the disableds' horses. So the horses aren't disableds, the disableds are. I like all animals.
She pauses again, then exits.
Don't say a word.
I wasn't going to say a word.
Don't you think I don't wish it had never happened? Don't you think I don't wish she was there still?
I know you do. I know you do.
Billboards ain't gonna bring her back, Mildred.
Neither is fucking 19-year-olds, Charlie.
Yeah, but I know that.
Just go.
Yeah, all right. I'm such a shitty dad, and you're such a great mom. All right. So how come a week before she died, she comes around asking if she can move in with me at my place? Because she couldn't stand the two of yous bitching at each other no more and fighting with each other no more.
I don't believe you.
And I said, no, stay at home. Your mom loves you. And now I wish I hadn't. Because if I hadn't, she'd still fucking be here.
I don't believe you.
Don't believe me? Ask Fruit Loop Boy.
Charlie leaves, sound of his car pulling away.
Is it true?
I don't know, Mom.
Yeah, you do.
Interior, Dixon's house. Dixon beside his mama on the couch. He's got his tortoise on his lap. She pours a margarita from a ready-made plastic pack. They're watching on TV the start of Don't Look Now.
No, not Donald Sutherland again. What is this, a Donald Sutherland season?
I like him. I like his hair.
Hair.
This is one where his little girl dies.
It's always a plus in a movie. It any good?
Got a great sex scene.
Dixon gives her an uncomfortable glance.
Talking to dead kids, what's happening to that Billboards lady?
Oh, that Coos won't listen to reason. She's as tough as an old boot.
Why don't you just fuck her through her friends?
What? Huh?
You know, why don't you fuck her friends over? Make her come around that way. She got some friends you could fuck over?
Dixon thinks about it and nods. Exterior gift shop. Mildred finds the shop shut. A handwritten note on it reads, "I got arrested, Denise," with an unsmiley face. Interior police station. Desk Sergeant sighs as Mildred enters. Dixon is some desks away across the crowded station.
Hey, fuckhead!
The
What?
cop turns to look at her.
Don't say what, Dixon. When she comes in calling you fuckhead, don't you come in here.
Shut up! You, get over here.
No, you get over here.
All right?
She heads over.
What? Don't, Dixon.
What? I'm taking care of this.
You do not allow a member of the public to call you a fuckhead in the station house.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of it my own way, actually. Now get out of my ass.
Desk Sergeant sighs and goes back to work.
Mrs. Hayes, what is it that I can do for you today?
Where's Denise Watson?
Denise Watson's in the clank.
On what charge?
Possession,
Of what?
marijuana cigarettes, big ones.
When's the bail hearing?
I asked the judge not to give her bail on account of her previous marijuana violations, and the judge said sure.
You fucking prick.
You do not call an officer of the law a fucking prick in his own station house, Mrs. Hayes, or anywhere, actually.
What's with the new hard-boiled attitude, Dixon? Your mama been coaching you?
No, my mama doesn't do that.
Mildred passes Desk Sergeant on the way out.
Hey, come down, Hayes.
She's
Good,
gone.
Dixon.
Yeah, I know I did.
Desk Sergeant just sighs. Exterior, beautiful meadow beside a lake. Anne is looking confused, glass of wine in hand. The kids in the middle of a blanket on the grass holding a child's magnetic fishing rod each. Willoughby tosses teddy bears and dolls 2 meters away from the circumference of the blanket.
Now, the rules here are twofold. No kid can leave this goddamn blanket at any goddamn time. And every single one of these dolls and these teddy bears has got to be hooked up. Now, your mama and I, although it won't look like it, we'll be watching every goddamn move you make. And the most important thing while we're watching is you do not leave this blanket. The next most important thing is you do not at any stage allow the fishing rods to stick into you or your sister's eyeballs, as this would be counterproductive to the entire operation. What would this be?
How counterproductive to the entire operation.
Operation.
Ah, good. Then troops, start fishing.
They do so as Willoughby grabs a blanket, a bottle of wine, takes Anne by the hand, and leads her uphill to the tree line.
We are not.
We are.
She looks back at the kids, safe within the confines of the blanket, and lets herself be led. Exterior, Billboard Road. Mildred fixing flowers and pots at the billboards, making them look nice. It's a beautiful blue-skied day. Pretty birds mooch around, and out of nowhere, a fawn suddenly appears. Mildred stays dead still, breathless at the beauty of it, watching as it almost appears to look up at, and still no arrests, and cock its head at the question. It spots Mildred suddenly and is startled slightly, but stands its ground.
Hey, baby. Yeah, still no arrests. How come, I wonder? Because there ain't no God and the world's empty and don't matter what we do to each other. Oh, I hope not. How come you come out here out of nowhere looking so pretty? You ain't trying to make me believe in reincarnation or something, are you? Well, you're pretty, but you ain't her. She got killed, and now she'll be dead forever. I do thank you for coming up, though. If I had some food, I'd give it to you, but I've only got some Doritos, and they're kind of pointy. I'm scared they'd kill you. And then where would we be?
The fawn finally decides to amble away off toward the hazy sunset horizon. She almost cries, but doesn't quite.
Oh, Mildred.
Interior Welby's office, Jay. Mildred sitting at the desk, Welby idling shiftily by the window.
Yeah, so I just happened to be looking over our contract we drew up back that time, and what I realized was that although payment is to be made on the first day of each month, the first payment you made was actually a deposit, wasn't it? Like we said, so actually, in point of fact, you're actually behind on your payments now by, yeah, a month.
She gives him a look.
Yeah, that's what the contract says. Looking it all over, and lawyer says so too.
When do you need the next payment by, Red?
Well, now, really?
Another look.
Or Friday?
Wow. When you can't trust the lawyers and the advertising man, what the hell's America coming to, huh? Who got to you? Willoughby?
Nobody got to me.
My fat fucking ass.
He's dying.
We're all fucking dying.
Pamela Knox.
Red?
Oh, hi, Pamela. We're a little bit busy at the moment, Pam, if that's okay.
Oh, Red, I know. And I know you were real anxious about talking to Miss Hayes this morning and all.
Anxious? No.
Well, but that's the thing. There's no need to be, because you won't believe it. A little Mexican delivery boy just dropped in with this.
Pamela hands Welby an envelope full of banknotes.
What the hell is this?
I know. It's $5,000. Guess what the note says? It says it's to pay for the rental for Mrs. Hayes. Mrs. Hayes' billboards. Can you believe it? I mean, that's why I butted in.
Well, who's it from?
Well, it doesn't say.
Well, where's the delivery boy?
Well, he went.
Well, did you see what company he was from?
Well, no.
Well, what kind of a uniform did he have on?
Well, he just looked like one of them fat little Mexican boys. On a bicycle? Did I do something wrong?
No, Pam. You did good.
Yeah, Pam. You did real good.
Did I? Great. Hey, look, crazy.
Pamela smiles, gives Red the thumbs up, and leaves.
What's the note say?
Says this here money is to go towards the fund for Mildred Hayes' billboards, because she ain't the only one around here who hates the pigs. Signed, a friend.
Jeez. Guess you can't be picky with who your friends are these days. Be good to get a little receipt off you, Red, saying the price of next month's is paid in full and all.
Oh, sure, Mildred. Sure.
Yeah. Like now?
Oh, sure.
Welby hurriedly writes one out. Interior, Willoughby house, night. Willoughby tucks the kids in as they giggle.
No, mommy's not drunk, Jane. She's just got a little migraine is all. A little Chardonnay migraine. Now, no more chit-chat out of you two, okay?
Can we stay home from school again tomorrow, Daddy?
We'll see what Mommy says in the morning, darling.
Aww.
But I'm pretty sure she'll say yes, though.
Yay!
Now, eyes closed and get some sleep, okay?
He kisses them goodnight and switches the light off. Interior Willoughby living room. Anne is lying on the couch, a small wet towel over her eyes. Willoughby sits in beside her and kisses her.
You don't smell a puke, which is good.
Aqua fresh trick I learned.
Women, huh?
Oh yeah, resourceful.
It's still your turn to clean the horse shit out of the stable, you know?
Those fucking horses. They're your fucking horses. I'm gonna have those fucking horses shot.
I'll do it, you lazy bitch.
Thank you, Papa. That was a real nice day. That was a real nice fuck. You got a real nice cock, Mr. Willoughby.
Is that?
Is that from a play? You got a real nice cock, Mr. Willoughby? I think I heard it in a Shakespeare one time.
You dummy. It's Oscar Wilde.
She puts the towel back over her eyes as he laughs. Interior Willoughby's stable. The horses watch as he finishes shoveling the shit, lays out fresh hay, gives them a pat, thinks about the day, and smiles.
Oscar Wilde.
He smiles again, then picks up a black hood on the outside of which he has pinned a note that reads, "Don't open the bag, just telephone the boys." He places the black hood snugly over his head so the note is visible, cocks a large handgun, raises the gun to his temple, and shoots himself through the head. His dead body falls heavily to the ground, the hood concealing all the mess. Interior Willoughby house. Anne pulls the towel off her eyes, having heard something. She gets up and we go with her, camera on her face, as she moves all the way through the house to the kitchen, where she stops suddenly and her face falls.
No, 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 no.
We see what she sees, the plain white envelope propped on the bare kitchen table, the single word Anne, dead center of it.
No, 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 no.
She breaks down crying on the cold kitchen floor. We hear Willoughby's note over the following silent images. Lots of images. Lots of images. Let's hear Willoughby's note.
My darling Anne. There's a longer letter in the dresser drawer I've been writing for the last week or so. That one covers us and my memories of us and how much I've always loved you. This one just covers tonight, and more importantly, today. Tonight, I've gone out to the horses to end it. I cannot say sorry for the act itself, although I know that for a short time you will be angry at me or even hate me for it. Please don't. This is not a case of I came in this world alone and I'm going out of it alone and anything dumb like that. I did not come into this world alone. My mom was there. And I'm not going out of it alone because you were there, drunk on the couch, making Oscar Wilde cock jokes. No, this is a case in some senses of bravery. Not the bravery of facing a bullet down. The next few months of pain would be far harder than that small flash. No, it's a bravery of weighing up the next few months of still being with you, still waking up with you and playing with the kids against the next few months of seeing in your eyes how much my pain is killing you. How my weakened body as it ebbs away and you tend to it are your final and lasting memories of me. I won't have that. Your final memories of me will be us at the riverside and that dumb fishing game, which I think they cheated at, and me inside of you, and you on top of me, and barely a fleeting thought of the darkness yet to come. That was the best, Anne. A whole day of not thinking about it. Dwell on this day, baby, because it was the best day of my life. Kiss the girls for me and know that I've always loved you. And maybe I'll see you again if there's another place. And if there ain't, well, it's been heaven knowing you. Your boy, Bill.
You see the police station, Dixon at his desk. First one in, singing along quietly to ABBA's Chiquitita. Cops start coming in on the other side of the room, and the ones who aren't in tears are when they're told. Dixon is oblivious to all this because we're with his music, we don't hear the sound of it either. Dixon looks up and finally notices something is amiss when he sees a fellow cop smashing a chair to pieces and being restrained by the desk sergeant and two other cops. He breaks down in tears. Dixon takes his earphones out.
What the hell is going on around here?
All the cops turn and look at him.
What?
Interior police station. Desk sergeant holds Dixon up at the sink he's puking into, nose streaming, crying quietly, dizzy.
Can you stand now?
Can stand.
I'd better get you out there. Say something to him. You ain't gonna faint again, are you?
Dixon shakes his head. Desk sergeant goes out. Dixon cleans himself up, breathes deeply, and exits. Interior police station. Dixon pulls on his jacket and looks out the window. In the second-story window, Welby sits at his desk, chatting with Pamela, who laughs at a joke he's made. End point of view.
That the best thing. The only thing to honor that man's memory right now is to go back to work. Is to be a good cop. Is to walk in his shoes. Is to do what he did every day of his life. Help people.
Dixon straps on his belt, picks up his nightstick, and walks out of the police station. In one shot, we see him walk across the street, car screeching to a halt to Welby's building. He smashes its glass door with his nightstick and carries on through it, and we continue tracking him as he walks up the stairs to the second floor, to Welby in the office, startled at the glass smashing. He backs away from him.
What the hell's going on, Dixon?
Dixon clubs Welby in the face, and Welby goes down, Pamela screaming. Dixon continues calmly to the window, smashes it with the nightstick, picks Welby up and shoves him out of it. Welby disappears out the window, his screams remaining for a second until they're ended with a sickening thud.
You fucking pig! What the fuck are you doing?
Dixon clubs Pamela across the face, breaks her nose. She collapses, and he walks all the way back downstairs and into the street, and we continue to track him. As he comes out, sees Welby, broken ankle, arm, hand, trying to get up and crawl away. Dixon comes up behind him and clubs him back down.
See, Red? I got issues with white folks, too.
Dixon calmly walks back into the police station, passing a well-dressed black man, Abercrombie, on his way.
The fuck are you looking at?
Dixon enters the station. Abercrombie lowers his coffee, and we see his cop's badge as he takes in the carnage on the street. End of the tracking shot. Interior Mildred's house, kitchen. Mildred and Robbie fixing cornflakes and coffee, TV on in the background. The local news flashes back on, the image of Willoughby, the anchor, announcing.
Reports, sadly, have come in overnight that Chief William Willoughby of Ebbing, Missouri, took his own life early this morning in the
Mildred
grounds
reacts
of his
to
home.
lynched.
This report just in from Gabriella Forrester.
Happy Gabriella.
Tragedy came today upon this quiet family home outside Ebbing, Missouri, a home belonging to Chief William Willoughby, his wife Anne, his two young daughters, Polly and Jane. What appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound brought life to an end for Chief Willoughby, a man highly respected at Ebbing for his diligence and his service to the community, a service that lasted more than 25 years. What led him to take his life in the early hours of this morning is too early to speculate. There were rumors of illness. Could it simply have been the pressures of the job? Or could it have been something to do with a story we ran early 2 weeks ago of these billboards, the woman who put them there, Mildred Hayes?
Flips off the TV. School. Robbie gets out of the car as a group of two boys and one girl stare over at Mildred. Suddenly a can of Coke hits the windscreen from their direction. Mildred looks at the fizz.
Don't.
Mildred gets out of the car.
Say, you know who threw that can?
What can?
Mildred kicks him in the crotch. He goes down.
Oh,
How about you, honey? You know who threw that can?
no, I didn't really see it.
Mildred kicks her hard in the crotch and she goes down. She goes back to the car and speeds off.
Thanks, Mom.
Interior police station. Dixon's fellow cops slap him on the back in praise as Abercrombie quietly enters and walks up to the desk sergeant.
And what can I do for you today, sir?
What's your name?
What's your name?
Oh,
Here's on my tag. Name's on my tag, man. You hard of reading?
Hard of reading? No, that's good. Hard of reading. It's kind of like hard of hearing, but it's hard of reading. It's like a play on words or something.
What do you want?
I've been sent down to take over from Chief Willoughby in light of last night's unfortunate event.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Do you have any documentation to prove that, sir?
You really want to see my documentation, fucker?
Yeah, see his documentation.
None of you cracking motherfuckers got no work to do.
Ain't that racialist?
What happened to your hands there, Officer Dixon?
Oh, I just kind of banged him up a little bit while I was throwing some guy out a fucking window, just the usual.
Oh, yeah? They never taught me that one at the academy.
Oh, what fucking academy did you go to?
Abercrombie looks over Dixon's cluttered desk, his mama's photo, toy figurines, and a comic book.
How's things coming along on the Angela Hayes case?
How's things coming along on the mind your own fucking business case?
How things coming along on the hand me your gun and your badge?
Dixon snorts and then realizes he means it. He's thickened.
Huh?
Hand me your gun and your badge.
Dixon's eyes well up. He gives Abercrombie his gun and then checks himself for his badge. He can't find it. He goes through his pockets as Abercrombie waits, and he still can't find it.
I can't find my badge. No, seriously. Maybe I dropped it when I was doing the window guy.
Just get out of my station house, man.
Dixon rises sadly. He looks to his fellow cops to look away. Abercrombie enters Willoughby's office, slams the door behind him. Dixon shuffles up to the desk sergeant.
I think I just got fired. It's fired or suspended. I'm not sure which one actually.
Fired.
Dixon looks at him, eyes welling up. He nods and leaves before he starts crying. Interior gift shop. A pickup truck pulls up outside. Mildred, reading a magazine, watches as a well-built, crop-haired guy, late 20s, enters, kind of stares straight at her for a moment, then ambles around the shop, looking at knickknacks he obviously has no use for.
Anything I can help you with, you just give me a holler.
Give you a what?
A holler.
He stares at her again and continues with the knickknacks.
A holler, huh? Give Mildred Hayes a holler. Okay.
You know me?
Only from the TV and the radio. How much of these here Welcome to Missouri rabbits go for?
$7. It's written right on them.
Guy tosses a glass rabbit against a distant shelf where it and all things on the shelf shatter, startling Mildred.
Guess he ain't worth $7 now.
What the hell was it you come in here for?
What did I come in here for? Well, maybe I'm a good friend of the Willoughbys. How about that?
Are you?
Or, maybe I was a friend of your daughter's or something. How about that?
Were you?
Or, maybe I was the guy who fucked her while she was dying.
Were you?
How about that?
Were you?
Oh. Nah. I would have liked to, though. I saw her picture in the paper there.
Doorbell tinkles as Anne enters.
Saved by the Bell, huh?
You owe me $7 fucking for that rabbit.
I guess you'll have to get it off me next time I'm passing through.
I
Huh,
guess I will.
Miss Mildred.
I guess I will. You know how glad I am to see you.
What?
You're kind of scaring me.
I wouldn't have said you scare easy.
I ain't the worst. What can I do for you, ma'am?
My husband left this for you before he shot himself in the head last night.
Anne hands her the letter, and Mildred just stares at her.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Willoughby.
Are you? Are you really?
Of course.
Surely it's the perfect ending for you, isn't it? It's proof that they've been successful. These billboards of yours, isn't it? A dead policeman? It's qualifiable now.
Are you blaming this on me?
No, I'm not blaming this on you. I just came to give you the letter. Now, my 2 little girls are out in the car, so I'd better not stay and chat. I'm not sure what we're going to do for the rest of the day. It's hard to know what to do the day your husband kills himself. It's hard to know what to do.
Anne leaves. Mildred looks out as she drives away and sees Polly and Jane looking at her through the rear window. Mildred rests her head on the glass door a second, the broken Welcome to Missouri rabbit on the shelf beside her, its head split in two. She opens the letter in her hand and starts reading as dusk falls on the street outside.
Dear Mildred, Dead Man Willoughby here. Firstly, I want to apologize for dying without catching your daughter's killer. It's a source of great pain to me, and it break my heart to think you thought I didn't care, because I did care. There are just some cases.
Exterior Billboard Road. The billboards and surrounding landscape from various angles at sunset, including details like the half-eaten flowers and the insects thereon. The burnt patch of dirt in the billboards themselves.
Some cases where you never catch a break. Then 5 years down the line, some guy hears some other guy bragging about it in a bar room or a jail cell, and the whole thing is wrapped up through sheer stupidity. I hope that might be true for Angela. I really do. Second, I gotta admit, Mildred, the billboards were a great fucking idea. They were like a chess move, and although they had absolutely nothing to do with my dying, I'm sure that everyone in town will assume that they did, which is why, for Willoughby's counter move, I decided to pay the next month's rent on them. I thought it'd be funny, you having to defend them a whole nother month after they'd stuck me in the ground. The joke is on you, Mildred. Ha ha. And I hope they do not kill you. So good luck with all that, and good luck with everything else too. I hope and I pray that you get them.
Exterior Dixon's house. Dixon and Mama sitting on their porch at sunset with beers.
Well, you want me to go down and talk to them?
No, I do not want you to go down and talk to them. Jesus, somebody's sending their goddamn mother down to talk to the goddamn police, for Christ's sakes. What would you say?
And say to give your job back and get rid of the black guy.
They ain't gonna listen to some guy's mother asking them to get rid of some black guy. Things have moved on in the South.
Well, sure enough. Will they give you any money for being laid off and all?
I don't know what the compensation scheme is for when you throw a guy out of a window, Mom. I guess I should have looked into that beforehand. Let me Google that.
A couple of grand, maybe. You've been there 3 years, not counting the 5 years at the academy. 6, if you count the year you were held back.
He puts on his jacket.
Where you going?
It's none of your business.
Off to see your fancy woman.
I don't got a fancy woman.
Yeah, I know.
Gives her a dirty look.
You want to watch yourself?
Oh, you'll do what?
Blow your goddamn head off.
He gets in the car and drives off. Exterior road approaching the billboards. Mildred and Robbie driving a road adjacent to the billboard road. The billboard's not yet in sight.
Oh, did you hear the news?
What now?
That Dixon guy threw that Welby guy out of his window this morning.
You're shitting me. Well, be okay?
Robbie shrugs. Mildred is sick to her stomach, and just when it seems like things can't get any worse, she turns onto the billboard road and suddenly sees...
Oh, shit.
All three of the billboards are on fire. Mildred speeds toward them. We speed toward the fiery billboards, the third totally ablaze, the second half ablaze, words still legible. The first just getting going. Mildred grabs the car extinguisher.
Go get the one from the house.
Well, shouldn't I call the fire department?
Fuck the fire department. They probably started this all.
Well, don't do anything stupid.
Mildred's already racing toward the first billboard, spraying it all over from the close-up. Robbie speeds up. Mildred keeps spraying like a mad woman.
Scumbags. 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 Fucking scumbags.
Finally gets the first billboard out, then sprints all the way to the second, starts in on that. It's harder this time. The flames are already halfway up. She gets an idea, concentrates all her efforts on the left side post alone, and as it starts going out, she starts climbing up on it, putting out the fire bit by bit as she goes. Finally, all the left-hand post is out, and though her hands are burnt, she gets to the top of the billboard and starts walking along it, spraying down along its length. This starts to work, flames edging back until the extinguisher runs out of stuff. She tosses it violently at the flames and stays standing there, staring at them as the flames slowly start to rise toward her again. Suddenly, Robbie pulls up, jumps out of the car, and starts in on the flames below her.
What the hell are you doing, Mom?
The flames start to come under control as Mildred climbs back down. Robbie has the second billboard out by the time she's down, but the distant third is still raging. Mildred starts marching off toward it.
Come on.
Leave it, Ma. It's too late.
Mildred storms back and tries to grab the extinguisher off him, but he won't let it go. It's paining her burned hands terribly, but she keeps trying.
Leave it.
And Mildred makes one final effort. This time, Robbie lets it be taken. She strides off to the third billboard, totally engulfed in massive flame. He watches her start in on its size, then heads off toward her to try and help. Exterior billboard road later. The fires are out, the billboard's smoldering. Firemen and cops idling. Mildred's hands are being treated by a medic as Robbie looks on. Abercrombie comes over.
Chris, you do Abercrombie.
Okay, and
Rashid, you'll narrate.
you want to take over for narrator?
Yep.
How are those hands?
She ignores him. The medic moves off.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
You can ask all the questions you want. If you want to take me down and arrest me.
I'm not going to arrest you, Mrs. Hayes. I got nothing to arrest you for.
Not yet, you ain't.
She walks off towards the second billboard in the car.
We ain't all the enemy, you know.
Interior, Mildred's house. Her bedroom, morning. Mildred lying awake thinking. She slowly sits up, slips her feet into the fluffy bunny rabbit slippers at bedside and sits there a while, worn out, angry, depressed.
Crucify those motherfuckers. I'll crucify the motherfuckers.
She flexes her toes in her bunny slippers, and the bunny noses look like they're sniffing. It hits her how incongruous the image is in regards to what she's saying. She smiles. Mildred's POV of rabbit slippers, noses sniffing again.
What are you gonna do to him, Mildred? You gonna crucify him, you say? That's right. I'm gonna crucify him. Who are you gonna crucify? The motherfuckers? That's right. The motherfuckers. Jesus, well, I guess those motherfuckers better watch out then, huh? fucking A.
Car driving Billboard Road, day 77. Mildred and Robbie approaching the burnt out, blackened billboards and see Gabriella and her news crews at the second of them. They slow down to a crawl to listen.
What's this shit?
Gabriella continuing down a little walk past the billboard for the camera, which pans with her.
And as the sad as spectacle of these burned out billboards might be, in light of the death of Chief Willoughby, this reporter, for one, can't help but wonder whether this finally puts an end to the strange saga of the 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Mildred calling from the car.
This don't put an end to shit, you fucking retard. This is just the fucking start. So why don't you put that on your Good Morning Missouri fucking wake up car, bitch?
Mildred drives off at a speed from the open mouth Gabriella. She finally gives the cameraman the sign to cut. Exterior Dixon's house, day. Dixon reading a comic book on the porch, beer in hand. Mama comes out worried.
I see on the TV there was a bunch of fires lit in the town last night.
Bunch of fires, huh?
Out of those billboards.
Yeah, well, back when I was a cop, I would have been interested in who set those fires, because technically that's arson. But as I am no longer employed by those people, I don't really give a good goddamn. Now, do I?
Telephone rings. They look at each other. Dixon goes into the house and gets it.
The Dixon residence. Hey, Sarge, how you doing? You got any news? Yeah, the news. You got any news? About what? I don't know. About my job and stuff?
Interior police station, main room. Desk sergeant at desk, squad room busy. Abercrombie talking to the cops in BG.
No. What? No. Ann Willoughby just dropped in a letter that Bill wrote you before he died.
Interior Dixon's house.
Oh my God. What did it say?
I haven't read it. Dixon is not my letter.
Oh, well, I'll come right down then. So
Interior police station, main room continues. Desk sergeant looks at the distant Abercrombie and the cops listening to him.
Well, I don't think that'd be such a great idea as things stand, Jason. You've still got your keys to the station house, though, right?
yeah.
Well, why don't you just come pick it up when everyone else is home? I can leave it on your desk for you.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yeah. Then when you're done, you can just leave your keys, save us picking them up later.
Dixon nods, so he won't have to cry. Police station night. The dark street at night. Inside the lowered blinds of the police station, there's the faint glow of a flashlight. Dixon in the dark, empty station with a flashlight, eating Doritos, headphones on, looks at the officer Jason Dixon envelope on his desk beside Angela's file. He opens it. Jason, Willoughby here. I'm dead now. Sorry about that. But there's something I wanted to say to you that I never really said when I was alive. I think you've got the makings of being a really good cop, Jason. And you know why? Because deep down, you're a decent man. I know you don't think I think that, but I do, dipshit. You play hopscotch when you think no one's looking, for Christ's sake. Street deserted as Mildred with backpack checks to see no one's watching, then slips inside through the taped up door of Welby's offices. I think you're too angry, though. Welby's office, night. Mildred at Welby's desk in his swivel chair, phone book open to Ebbing Police Precinct House, telephone to her ear, backpack on table, broken window looking out on the dark police station across the street. And I know it's all since your dad died and you had to go look after your mom and all. Police station main room. Telephone on desk sergeant's desk starts ringing. Red light flashing, but as Dixon still has his headphones on, he can't hear it. Phone stops ringing after a while. But as long as you hold on to so much hate, then I don't think you're ever going to become Welby's office. Mildred gets up and exits frame with her backpack, leaving just the table, window, and the police station in shot. Sound only for 4 clinking bottles taken out of the backpack.
Chris,
Mildred
can you
moves
narrate?
back into the shots, looks at the phone again. What I know you want to become.
Interior police station. Dixon walking around the station, reading tearfully, passes desk sergeant's desk as phone starts ringing again. He still can't hear it. After 5 or 6 rings, it stops.
A detective.
Mildred looks at the phone she's just put down, thinking, rolling a cigarette lighter around in her hand, thumbing the flint, but not lighting it until
Fuck 'em.
she lights the lighter, and we pan with her and finally see the 4 Molotov cocktails she's placed on the table. She quickly picks up and lights the first, moves to the window, and launches it high out across the street. It explodes below Dixon's window, setting it and the whole wall alight.
Because you know what you need to become a detective. And I know you're going to wince when I say this.
Dixon hasn't noticed the sound or the flames. He turns the letter to the second page.
But what you need to become a detective is love.
He winces.
Because through love comes calm, and through calm comes thought. And you need thought to detect stuff sometimes, Jason. It's kind of all you need.
Mildred tosses the second Molotov out.
You don't even need a gun, and you definitely don't need hate.
It hits a second-story window, setting them alight.
Hate never solved nothing.
Dixon's wrapped up in the letter, chewing his fingernails, flames leaping behind him.
But calm did, and thought did. Try it. Try it just for a change. No one will think you're gay.
Mildred tosses the third Molotov out. Third Molotov hits the police station door, setting it alight.
And if they do, arrest them for homophobia. Won't they be surprised?
Flames still leap outside Dixon's window as Dixon, his back to it, keeps reading.
Good luck to you, Jason. You're a decent man. And yeah, you've had a run of bad luck.
In slow motion, Mildred tosses out the final Molotov.
But things are going to change for you.
In slow motion, the Molotov arcs up across the street.
I can feel it.
And at normal speed, smashes in through Dixon's window. Dixon finally notices this one, explodes behind him and knocks him off his feet, sets his desk ablaze. He sees the station door is on fire and Angela Hayes' file is on fire too. He grabs it and pats it against himself, getting the flames out, but getting petrol all over himself in the process. Dixon looks around, checks the locked back door, and realizes there's no way out of the building other than through his own fiery broken window.
Calm.
Standing in front of the window, he looks down at the file, places it safely up inside his shirt, hugs it tightly to his chest, takes a few steps back, then makes a running leap headfirst through the flames and out the window. Exterior, Main Street. Dixon lands on the sidewalk in a heap, his clothes on fire. He quickly pulls the case file out from under his shirt, tosses it far away from the flames. It lands in a clean spot. He rolls around trying to put himself out, but he's making it worse. He's a fireball. All across the street, Mildred comes out of the Welby building and sees him, horrified, just as James turns a far corner and sees Dixon on fire and Mildred in the doorway. He sprints over and beats out the flames with his hands and clothes, but Dixon's head, hands, and body are badly charred. Mildred turns away from him, horrified, and sees the case file lying there and realizes what Dixon has done as the sirens and blue lights of the ambulance and firemen arrive. Main Street, later. Fires out, building ravaged. Mildred sits exhausted outside Welby as James beside her, looking at her suspiciously. She looks away. Abercrombie comes over. So, what did you see?
Well, we turned the corner from spring. The fire was already raging, so And then 2 seconds later, the cop guy just jumps out the window.
Wait, the two of you turned the corner from Spring? Where were you before this?
Round at my place.
You two were boyfriend and girlfriend?
Well, it's early stages, you know.
That right?
We had a couple dates.
Abercrombie moves off, suspicious.
So, you want to go out to dinner next week?
I'll go out to dinner with you, but I ain't gonna fuck you.
She heads off.
Well, I ain't gonna fuck you neither, I guess.
Hospital room. Welby reading. A man, face and body bandage. It's Dixon, though Welby can't see this, is wheeled in by a nurse.
Burn victim. He's pretty heavily sedated.
Nurse leaves. Welby hobbles over to take a look. Half Nixon's hair is gone, and only his eyes are visible through the bandages.
Hey, man, you doing okay? Gee, you got burned up pretty bad. You'll be okay, though. Don't worry. You want a glass of orange juice? I got a straw somewheres.
The eyes behind the bandages start to cry.
Hey, man, don't cry. You'll be okay.
Sorry, Welby.
You know me?
Sorry.
Sorry for what, man?
Throwing you out the window.
Welby realizes finally, starts backing away.
Save it.
I'm sorry.
I don't care. And stop crying. The salt will just fuck up your wounds.
I thought that the salt was supposed to be good for wounds.
Am I? A fucking doctor?
Welby goes back to his bed. Sound of Dixon still crying. Dixon's POV. Through bandages of the ceiling, him crying still. Then the sound of liquid pouring. Then the sound of shuffling steps. Then the POV catches Welby limping over, carrying a glass of orange juice. He places it beside Dixon's bed and puts a straw in it. POV follows Welby a little way back to his bed, then drifts to the ceiling and remains there as he's crying continues. Mildred's house. A knock on the front door. Mildred looks out through the spy hole, doesn't recognize Jerome, who knocks again.
Who is it?
Oh, you don't know me, really.
What do you want?
Come about the billboards.
What about them?
They got burned up.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm one of the guys who put them up in the first place.
Mildred opens door, safety latch on, vaguely recognizes Jerome.
Jerome.
They shake fingers through the door.
What can I do for you, Jerome?
Well, you know, when you're putting up a bunch of posters like that, just in case any of them get screwed up or torn, they give you a set of duplicates, you know?
Jerome shows her what he's brought up. Through the crack in the door, she sees 2 big card rolls full of posters.
No, I didn't know that.
Exterior Billboard Road, second billboard. Later that day, Mildred and Robbie sloshing up the posters on the and still no arrest billboard as distantly Jerome is finishing up with the first billboard. James is holding Mildred's ladder steady, looking up at her.
Ladder's pretty steady as it is. There, James.
Oh, I don't mind. I like holding ladders. It takes me out of myself.
Mildred sighs. A car pulls up. Out gets Denise.
Need a hand?
Squealing, Mildred gets down, gives her a hug.
When'd you get out?
Hour ago. Judge threw it out, said the arrest report weren't filled out right. Say, you didn't burn down the police station, did you?
No.
Oh, no. She was with me the whole night.
Denise looks at Mildred.
It's a long story.
Jerome comes up, having finished the first billboards. Denise eyes him, thinks he's cute. It's mutual, and they exchange a hi. Jerome holds up a part of the Willoughby poster.
You sure you still want to put up the Willoughby one? Him dead and all?
Why not? He paid for it.
Some weeks later, a gray and windy evening. The posters all up beautifully, though the burned billboards look like they could crumble any second. Bar night. Dixon slouched low in a booth, morose, bandages gone, but his burns still visible. In a distant corner, Jerome and Denise chat quietly. A truck pulls up outside. The crop-haired guy and a male pal enter. Order a couple of beers from Tony and sit in the booth behind Dixon, not noticing him. Restaurant night. Mildred and James at dinner at a nice restaurant. Waiter pouring wine. Charlie and Penelope enter and pass. Charlie smiling at the sight of Mildred with a dwarf. Mildred has a fleeting look of embarrassment, which James registers.
Who's that?
It's my ex-husband with his 19-year-old girlfriend.
You want to leave?
No. Deal's a deal.
Mildred smiles. James only partly reciprocates. Bar night. Murmur conversations behind Dixon as he peels the label off his beer.
It was fucking wild, man. I was like certifiably insane for a while back there.
When was this?
About 9-10 months ago.
Were you on your own or what?
Dixon is barely listening as Denise is staring hatefully at him from across the bar. He ignores her, slugs some beer as the conversation behind him continues.
No, I had a couple of buddies with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They fuck her too?
I think they got their kicks just watching, you know.
Was she hot?
After the gasoline kicked in, she was hot.
Dixon's listening now. He gets up and ambles past their booth to get an idea of who's talking, but they clam up as they notice him passing. Exterior bar. Dixon continues on out of the bar, lights a cigarette in trembling hands, takes out a pen, and makes a note of the truck's license plate, finishes the cigarette, goes back inside. Dixon ambles past their booth again, coming in on...
I ain't gonna go down for that shit. Last fucking day down there.
Guy shuts up again as Dixon sits back in his booth.
He been here this whole time?
Who?
Burnt-faced Jake. Keeps fucking walking up and down, up and down.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Guy goes to the bar and turns to get a good look at Dixon, who just stares at his beer. Guy gets 2 more beers and returns to his own booth, staring at him the whole way. Dixon gets up, ambles to the bar, glances at the guy as he goes.
Can I help you with something, man? You've been looking all over here all fucking night. Now, unless you got something to say to me, why don't you take your burnt fucking face and get the fuck out of here, okay?
Dixon goes over and sits in beside Pal, nudging him over, facing the guy.
What the fuck are you doing?
Wait.
Dixon holds up his hands back in front so the guy can see there's nothing in them and that he means no harm.
Just trust me, okay?
Dixon reaches out with his empty right hand, slowly puts it behind the guy's right ear, guy flinching slightly, exchanging a glance with Pal.
Just trust me.
Just do the fucking trick.
Dixon smiles and quickly and deeply rakes his long fingernails down the guy's cheek, leaving a couple of deep, bloody lines there. Guy and Pal spring at Dixon, pummeling him horrifically, reopening all his wounds. Dixon doesn't fight back at all. In fact, he just clutches his fists to his chest to protect them. The two keep going and going, stamping on him sickeningly. Jerome stands up.
Hey, that's enough now.
Guy approaches menacingly.
What's it to you, fucker?
Guy's a cop, man. He's a cop.
Oh, yeah? He ain't wearing no badge.
I lost my badge. I can't remember where I lost it.
You started this, man. I didn't do shit to you.
I know I started it. I scratched you up like a bitch.
That's exactly fucking right.
Guy kicks Dixon viciously in the head and exits with Powell, leaving Dixon lying there, unmoving. Restaurant night. Mildred and James finishing their starters.
I gotta use the little boy's room.
James goes off to the toilet. Charlie comes over, leaving Penelope hanging, sits in James's seat smiling.
You got something to say to me?
Hell, if I'd known, we could have double dated.
Does a shit girl have a curfew or something? Weeknights?
No. In fact, I was actually going to take her to the circus later, but there's no need now. Does he juggle?
I'm having one dinner with the guy because he did me a favor, okay?
You don't have to explain yourself to me because you're having dinner with a midget, Mildred.
I'm not explaining myself to you.
You kind of are.
Across the room, Penelope makes a gesture about being left alone as James comes back, sees Charlie in his seat.
Listen, I didn't come over to break your balls. You can date as many midgets as you want. No, I came over to say I was sorry, actually.
Sorry for what?
James gets back onto his chair as Charlie gets out of it.
Well, I'm sorry about what happened to your billboards and all.
Well, it's all water under the bridge now, I guess.
Good. I'm glad. I was pretty drunk, but it still don't excuse it.
Mildred just stares at him.
All this anger, man. Penelope said to me the other day, it just begets greater anger, you know? And it's true. Penelope said begets? Yeah, it begets greater anger. Well, you take care of this little lady, okay, sport? Big lady compared to you, right?
Charlie returns to his table. Silence between James and Mildred a while.
Are you all right?
I think I'd like to go home now.
James just stares at her.
Oh, don't give me any shit, James. We can do this another time, all right?
Why would I want to do this another time? You've been embarrassed to be here ever since we arrived.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Jesus. I didn't force you to come on this date. You forced me.
Forced you? I asked you on a date. Wow. Well, I know I ain't much of a catch, okay? I know I'm a midget who sells used cars and has a drinking problem. I know that, but who the hell are you, man? You're that billboard lady who never, ever smiles, who never has a good word to say about anybody, and who in the evening time sets fucking fire to police stations. And I'm the one who's not a catch?
James climbs down off his chair.
Jesus.
I didn't have to come and hold your ladder.
James leaves in tears, leaving Mildred drained. She glances at Charlie. He's smirking at the scene. Mildred picks up her wine glass, picks up her half-empty bottle, and holding it low at her side, slowly walks over to him. He loses his smile.
Now, don't make a scene.
She looks the two of them over, bottle still in her hand.
Did you really tell him anger begets greater anger?
Oh yes, I did. I didn't make it up myself, though. I can't claim that. No, I read it on a bookmark, which was in a book I was reading about polio. Polo. No, which is the one with the horses? Polo.
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 Mildred looks at them a moment, then places a bottle on the table for them to finish.
Be nice to her, Charlie. Got that?
Charlie nods imperceptibly. Mildred leaves. Dixon's house, night. Dixon staggers in, blood-soaked past his horrified mama.
Jason!
Just leave me, Mama. Don't look at me.
Jason, what that done to you?
Bathroom. Dixon gets to the bathroom, slams door behind him, still clutching his right hand to his chest. He looks at himself in the cabinet mirror a second, repulsed by what he sees. He opens the cabinet mirror, left-handed, rifles through shelves, finds an unopened tweezer set, then finds a small, clean glass vial, a blank label on it. He sits on the bath and very slowly uses the tweezers to scrape out all the crop-haired guy's blood and skin trapped underneath the fingernails of his right hand and carefully places each amount inside the vial. Once all 5 fingernails are done, he caps the vial and pen in a shaky hand writes on the label H5T371 Idaho. Finished, he clutches it to his chest and sinks to the floor, shaking violently. Mama calling out, banging on the door.
Jason! Jason!
It's gonna be all right, Mama. It's all gonna be all right.
Mildred's house. Mildred, glass of wine on the couch, TV on, but not really watching. Knock at the door. She goes to get it, looks through the spy hole. Spy hole POV, Dixon, new scars, bandages, and a beanie. Mildred sitting on a swing set, Dixon with beanie in hand, a repeat of Willoughby and his hat from long ago.
I want to get your hopes up, all right? But there's a guy, and I think he might be the guy. I got his DNA. I got a lot of it, actually. They're making the checks as we speak.
He's in jail?
But he ain't going to be hard to find.
Why do you think he's the guy?
I heard him talking about something that he did to a girl in the middle of last year. I couldn't hear all of it, but it sounded a lot like what happened to Angela. Then he beat the crap out of me, but because of that, I got a bunch of his DNA, so I wanted to let you know sooner rather than later. I didn't want you to give up hope, you know?
I've been trying not to.
Well, all you can do is try. As my mama says, not so much about hope as about, well, I didn't used to be very good at English at school, so it was more all you can do is try to not be so crap at English, because you need English, really. If you want to be a cop, you want to be anything, really. Unless you live in Mexico or something, but who wants that?
He gets up to go.
Hey, Dixon. Thanks.
He smiles, and she watches him drive away out past the billboards. She sits there a while, thinking. Police station, Willoughby's office, day. In the burnt-out office, Dixon is sitting down. Abercrombie closes the office door and sits across from him.
You did good, Jason. You did real good. But he wasn't the guy.
What?
There was no match to the DNA, no matches to any other crimes of this nature, to any crimes at all. In fact, and his record is clean. Maybe he was just bragging.
He's just bragging.
Well, that's as may be, but at the time of Angela's death, he wasn't even in the country.
Where was he?
But I've seen his records of entry and exit to the States, and I've spoken to his commanding officer. He wasn't in the country, Dixon. He ain't our guy.
He might not be our guy, but he's still done something shitty.
Not in Missouri, he didn't.
Where was he?
That's classified information.
Come on, man.
If the guy's got a commanding officer, and if the guy got back to the country 9 months ago, and if the country where he was is classified, which country do you think he was in? I'll give you a clue. It was Sandy.
That doesn't really narrow it down.
All you need to know is he didn't do nothing to Angela Hayes. So we're going to keep looking, all right?
Dixon takes out his bandages, shows it to Abercrombie.
I found my badge, after all.
Oh, badge. Dixon looks at it a few seconds, then slides it across the table to Abercrombie and leaves. Dixon's house. Mama asleep, open mouth on couch, TV on. Dixon watches her a while, then dials a number on the phone, which he then carries into his mom's bedroom, sitting on her bed. We now see that he has a shotgun in his hands. Billboard Road. Mildred trudging the dirt at the billboards, replacing the dead pot plants. At the third billboard, her cell phone rings.
Hello?
Dixon
Tell me.
wasn't the guy.
Mildred crumples down beside the burnt patch of ground. She cries, lets out a long, cold breath, then picks the phone back up.
I guess you're sure, right?
He wasn't even in the country when it happened, so whatever he didn't do it around here. I'm sorry I got your hopes up.
It's all right. At least I had a day of hoping, which is more than I've had for a while. I better go.
Dixon's house bedroom. Dixon idly taps the shotgun against his lips.
And there was one thing I was thinking.
What's that?
I know he isn't your rapist. He is a rapist, though. I'm sure of that.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is I got his license plate and I know where he lives.
Where does he live?
He lives in Idaho.
That's funny. I'm driving to Idaho in the morning.
You want some company?
Sure.
Dixon puts the phone back in its cradle, looks at the gun in his arms, leaves it on his bed. He looks in on his sleeping mama. Billboard Road dawn. The billboards as the sun begins to rise on the horizon. Mildred's house. Sunrise behind the empty swing set. Mildred looks in on Robbie sleeping quietly. A drawing of Angela he's done pinned on the wall above his pillow. Mildred puts a thermos, sandwiches, and Doritos in the car. Dixon places a shotgun wrapped in a blanket inside too. Mildred looks at it lying there. They exchange a look, get in the car, and drive. The burned backs of the billboards framed along the roadside as the car heads away towards the horizon. As the car rolls along the road, they're both quiet, nervous. They drive in silence a while.
Hey, Dixon.
Oh,
I need to tell you something. It was me who burned down the police station.
well, how the hell would it have been?
She smiles. They drive on in silence.
Dixon,
No?
you sure about this?
About killing this guy? Not really. You?
Not really.
They continue on.
I guess we can decide along the way.
Dixon nods. She smiles. They drive on. Starsky and Hutch music plays in the background.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yay! I gotta go blow my nose.
That was 3 billboards.
3 billboards.
Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Ah.
All right, everybody take a bow. Bowed. Bye.
Did you see the movie, Rashid?